Could this upcoming Disney Plus Power Rangers series be Power Rangers' last shot to get it right when it comes to the franchise? Let's talk about it, break it down, hit that intro, Rangers.
You are watching the Fan Club.
You're watching the Fan Club.
And you're watching the Fan Club. Do you know what time it is?
And you know what time it is.
It's time for the Fan Club. Let's go. Hey!
I can't do this on my own, cause you know things ain't always sweet when you out here in these streets. But my Morphin when it morph, I made a fake.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fan Club. It is your boy, Dan Brosnan, in the building. We are so happy to have you guys. Now, today, we are going to be reading and reacting to an article from CBR.com titled, "I'm convinced the Disney Plus Power Rangers reboot is the franchise's last chance." This came out 5 days ago, but I have kept this in my bookmarks to read it and talk about it. I've just read the title. I have not read the rest of what they say, so I'm very intrigued to see if I'm going to agree with this, if I'm going to disagree, and I'm hoping that you guys react in the comments and give me your 2 cents, but let's get into it. It isn't a great time to be a Power Rangers fan right now, they say. With the television series having survived so many would-be cancellations in the past, I never thought it would come to an end. Yet, since the conclusion of Power Rangers Cosmic Fury in 2023, there have been no new seasons. As recently reported, a Power Rangers reboot is being developed for Disney Plus, and the future of the franchise depends on its success. Along with there no longer being a television series, there's only one comic book left, and after years of there being a wide line of them, there has been no progress made on a new theatrical film since the failure of Power Rangers 2017, and the Netflix reboot that was in development was canceled. I appreciate the persistence Hasbro has in trying to keep the legacy franchise alive, but I don't see how Power Rangers can have any future if after so many other setbacks, Percy Jackson and the Olympian showrunners Jonathan E. Steinberg and Dan Schatz can't make the Disney Plus reboot a success. You know what? These people, whoever's writing this, did they got a name on here? Emma Singer? You've done your research, Emma. There's a lot of things that are factual and I agree with, okay? So Power Rangers has been everywhere in the past 8 years, from Nickelodeon to the big screen to Netflix, and now we're going to Disney Plus, and it's had a bunch of different people making it, but no one lately in the past, how many years has got Power Rangers to ascend to where we want it to really be. We want this to be like a top 10, top 5 brand again, and no one has cracked the code yet. There's a lot of potential in this brand, but there's only so much potential that you can hope for if everything you keep doing keeps ending in not very good results. Eventually, that might make Hasbro put it on the back burner and shelve it for even longer. Who knows? But I don't want to think like that. I do want to be positive, but they do make a good point here. Let's keep on reading. Power Rangers is on the verge of becoming irrelevant. As a lifelong fan of Power Rangers, I've bared witness to most of its highs and lows. I've watched and read the best and worst of its seasons, movies, and comics. I've watched excitement build around new eras of the television series, only for it to constantly remain on the verge of cancellation, and I've seen hopes build that the franchise would finally go mainstream, only for them to be dashed. Through it all, I remain confident that the franchise would never die completely. As things stand in 2025, I'm no longer so confident. Power Rangers as a brand will never fully die out. At the bare minimum, there will always be new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers content of some kind released as an appeal to 90s nostalgia. But no one would argue that the sporadic release of video games and toys based on a single era of the series translates to the franchise truly still being alive either. Yet after over 30 years, this seems to be where Power Rangers is heading. The original continuity ended forever with Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. The series has been off the air since 2023. The only Power Rangers movie of the century was panned by fans and critics alike, and Power Rangers Prime is all that remains of the once thriving Boom Studios line of comics. Even the MMPR reunion special, Once and Always, wasn't able to really ignite interest from older fans. Now, I kind of disagree there. I mean, maybe they didn't do as great as they wanted to, but I heard that Once and Always did pretty good number-wise, and I saw a lot of older fans that I didn't even knew liked Power Rangers, but they did. That was kind of cool. We'll keep on reading this article. From my perspective, there are a lot of reasons things have gone this way, but the biggest hit to the franchise has come from something entirely outside its control: a decreasing interest from kids in traditional television and in toys. Power Rangers survived and in some ways thrived for years without content targeted towards older fans or mainstream audiences, but the primary audience of the television series that allowed it to do simply doesn't exist anymore. That is a really good point. All the kids these days are more into like YouTube shows and apps, iPads, stuff like that. It's a good point. Like, they need to kind of change with the younger generation. They need to make a show that's like that for kids, that has Power Rangers in it. Make like a CGI show. We've talked about that for years. Make a preschool CGI show. That would make the most sense. We'll keep on reading though. This is a good article. If Power Rangers can't succeed on Disney Plus, it can't succeed anywhere. The announcement of Power Rangers reboot being developed for Disney Plus is a light in the darkness for fans of the franchise. This isn't the first potential reboot to be announced, but I see more potential in it than any other to have been discussed. Not only does this have a high-profile creators attached in the form of Percy Jackson and the Olympian showrunners Jonathan E. Steinberg and Dan Schatz, but the Disney Plus is the one place where Power Rangers can hope to succeed in 2025. Now, I actually watched this show and I appreciated Percy Jackson. That was a good show. If they can recreate some of that magic for Power Rangers, we will be in a good place. Now, when it came to like the Jonathan Entwistle project, I wasn't too familiar with his work. I know he did a show called like The End of the Effing World. Never really watched that. Heard it was decent. I know that he's directing the new Karate Kid movie, and that might be really good. I hear that there's rumors that like he used the Power Ranger project to just flip that into the next big thing. Who knows? I mean, that very well could have happened. Now let's keep on reading here. Power Rangers aired on a variety of channels throughout its 30-year run, from Fox to ABC Family to Toon Disney to Nickelodeon. The only thing that was ever consistent was the series' low ratings. There were definite high points for it in this era, but by and large, Power Rangers only survived on traditional networks for as long as it did because of how cheap it was to produce, relative to how much money the toy sales brought in. There's a reason Mighty Morphin Power Rangers continues to dominate the brand. It's the only era that actually had a large audience, and that wasn't derided by kids themselves while it was airing. Even the move to Netflix in the series' final years couldn't do anything to save it, both due to a general lack of interest and the sheer glut of options that the streaming platform provides. Movie theaters have also proven to not be the viable home for Power Rangers. Along with movie theaters slowly dying in general, Power Rangers, the 2017 film, bombed at the box office, only grossing $142 million on a $142 million budget pre-marketing. Now, I don't know if you call that a full bomb, but that's definitely not doing what you're supposed to do. But you didn't lose all your money, you just didn't make enough back to really argue a sequel. I adore the movie and find it to be an underrated gem, but the majority opinion is against me. This isn't the first time PR has failed either, with Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, having barely earned back its pre-marketing budget all the way back in 1997. With Hollywood's current obsession with popular IPs, there continue to be constant talks about new Power Rangers movies, but they never go anywhere. With traditional television, theaters, and Netflix having all failed Power Rangers, Disney Plus is its last hope. Theoretically, if the reboot falls through, Hasbro could continue trying to collaborate with other streaming services, but none are as well suited to hosting Power Rangers as Disney Plus. Disney Plus previously owned Power Rangers for 10 years. They integrated it into their branding and theme parks, and they produced what continue to be some of the most beloved seasons in the franchise's history. The company has proven it can treat Power Rangers well and as a streaming platform. Disney Plus is better known for hosting original action adventure content for all ages than any other. Now, I do think that Disney Plus would be a great home. The only pushback I'm really going to hit you here is Power Rangers and Disney had like the weirdest relationship. Towards the end, Disney wasn't putting any money. They were barely airing the show. Like, they didn't want to have anything to do with Power Rangers towards the end. So, yes, they did have it. And they did some good, but saying that the company has proven it can treat Power Rangers well, I don't know about that. There are some times that it treated it well, and then there's some times where it didn't treat it very well for like 4 or 5 seasons going into the end, and that's why they sold it, right? They literally sold it. So, yes, there might have been a time in the marriage that they treated it well, but towards the middle and the end, it wasn't that great if you ask me, especially like those last 4 or 5 years with Mystic Force on. Now, there are some good seasons in there, like Jungle Fury and RPM. The problem is the marketing. They were not giving $1 a dime with Power Rangers. And the thing that made me so mad is I know they had this ABC Kids thing, but did you ever notice that most of the shows on ABC Kids were on Disney Channel, right? But Power Rangers never got to air on Disney Channel. But I knew so many people all over the world that watched Disney Channel growing up, from That's So Raven to like Even Stevens, all these different shows, right? You can name a bunch and your eyes will pop up. Like, I watched that. You're telling me that you never put Power Rangers on Disney Channel? That is just a mind bender. You had it. This would have really popped it off. You would have hit another demographic, right? But you had all these shows. Like, what was the one show with the kid? Like Jake, it was at the American Dragon or something like that. There was, like, they tried to go in that action wave to get some boys in there. But that Power Rangers, you might as well just put Power Rangers on there after school from like 3 to 4, have like an action block where you put the American Dragon, then you put Power Rangers next to each other, right? So many more kids would have watched Power Rangers because it was just on there. How many shows on Disney Channel were we like hooked on just because it was on and we started watching it and we liked it, right? That was the thing for me, and I know I just went into a completely other rant, but I think that shows that Disney didn't always care as much as you think they did about Power Rangers. They didn't know what the hell to do with it. But let's get back to this article. We have a lot left. Great job, by the way, Emma. The Power Rangers reboot could benefit from being like Percy Jackson and the Olympians. One of the most interesting things about the potential Disney Plus Power Rangers reboot is that Jonathan E. Steinberg and Dan Schatz are spearheading it. If the reboot happens, the Percy Jackson and the Olympics showrunners are set to act as writers, showrunners, and executive producers, apart from Hasbro being set to produce, and a quote from them describing the reboot as being for a whole new generation of fans while delighting those who already know and love the world of Power Rangers. Their involvement is all fans currently know about the project. As a fan of the novels that inspired it, I quite enjoyed Percy Jackson and the Olympians Season 1, and so did many others. The series has been an enormous success for Disney Plus, and it successfully earned a renewal for 2 more seasons during a time when so many programs are canceled after only 1. Steinberg and Schatz have not only already proven that they know how to make a wonderful all-ages action-adventure series based on a popular children's IP, but they can make it succeed on Disney Plus. While the franchises have massive differences, I think Power Rangers could learn a lot from Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Compared to most seasons of PR, Percy Jackson has incredible acting, deep and understandable characters, thematic cohesion, superb world building, outstanding production design, and thrilling fights. Some of this simply comes down to Percy Jackson having a significant higher budget than Power Rangers has ever had, but I think most people should know by now that a large budget alone doesn't automatically lead to quality. Perhaps most importantly, it succeeds where most fans deemed Power Rangers from 2017 to have failed, whereas its efforts to appeal to an older audience. The box office flop was deemed to have taken itself far too seriously for a Power Rangers movie. Percy Jackson successfully captured the magic and whimsy of the books it's based on, while still being a series that adults unfamiliar with the source material could appreciate. In my ideal world, the original Power Rangers television series would still be in production, the comic books would be as strong a place as they were several years ago, and multiple sequels to Power Rangers 2017 would have been released by now. But here in reality, I can see that the franchise is on its last legs. I truly hope the Disney Plus Power Rangers reboot succeeds, as I'm convinced it's the property's last and best shot as a success. Now, I have to shout out the writer one more time, Emma Singer. They did an incredible job with this one. And I will say, I agree with most of it. There are a couple things like I didn't agree with, but this is a giant article. Like, you did an incredible job. And I will say that when you're on your last legs, when you got your back against the wall, is sometimes when the beast comes out, when you push back, is sometimes your best project that you put out. And I think finding these two that have been successful lately with something that kind of goes up Power Rangers alley. Like, they took a children's IP that's been around for years at this point and made it popular again. And a lot of the elements that they used in Percy Jackson, they could use in Power Rangers. Yes, the story's going to be different and the characters and stuff like that, but I see these two guys doing a lot of good things with this, and Disney Plus is a good partner to put the project on. They have had a lot of success over there, and there's a lot of Marvel projects. Obviously, they have like the whole Marvel collection over there, and Power Rangers is kind of like a Marvel DC show, but it's its own thing. So like, if you like superheroes, you might actually tune into Power Rangers. And if they do something good, put their money where their mouth is, because that was partly what I heard in this article, is you need a budget, but not just a budget. You need a good show. You need good characters, character progression, all that kind of stuff. But it helps when you have the funding to actually make some of your ideas come to life, right? Now, there's so many things I think about this article, but I think they're overall right. If they don't get approved for a second season, and that would mean that the show is not a success, who knows where they're going to be? They've already worn their welcome with a lot of different networks, and they were on Netflix, and then they'd be on Disney Plus. And if that failed, that would be the two largest streaming platforms that you didn't work on. You didn't work on Nickelodeon. Disney back in the day never put you on the Disney Channel. Saban sold you twice. I think eventually, if they don't hit, there is a chance that they give up on the future of Power Rangers and just focus on like the now. How can we every year just make 40 to 50, maybe to 100 million a year off just selling some nostalgic toys from Power Rangers, doing small stuff like that. Maybe every 5-10 years having some type of once and always special, but pretty much not having a universe of Power Rangers anymore, just slowly letting it die and shelving it. That is unfortunately a future that could happen if, one, they don't make a good project, and two, we don't get behind it. And it's not just the fans, it's like the mainstream too. They got to give us something. Like, I just watched something the other day, and it was like a rant about how did we let the 2017 movie fail? How do we let this not get a sequel? And it was like, yo, the fans are the reason why it made $100 million. If you really think about it, it didn't get the mainstream numbers and the appeal that it should have. But I will say that I knew a lot of Power Ranger fans about 8 years ago that showed up and showed out. When I went to it twice, I knew one cat went to it like 15 times. The Power Ranger fans are the reason why it pretty much almost made its money back. Like, yes, they lost some money. They lost their marketing money, but they still made $100 and so million on it. It's not going to be like a super epic fail. It's definitely not a win, and you can call it a loss. I wouldn't call it a full bomb, because like when I think of a bomb, I think of movies that like don't make anything comparable to their budget back. We're talking they only make like a quarter or a tenth of what they like put into the budget. That's a bomb to me. I think Power Rangers was right there, where if they just got a little bit more mainstream appeal. When I went to the theater, there was a lot of Power Ranger fans there. We're the ones that kept it from not losing a lot. And when Hasbro initially bought it, they were thinking about giving us a part 2, giving us a sequel, because the first one was right on that border. Like, it didn't make you money, but it didn't lose you enough that like it gave you bones to a beginning, right? There are certain movies that didn't do very well, like in theaters, the first movie, and then the sequel did a lot better, right? Because the first movie was great. The first movie was kind of in between here, though. There are some really good things I liked about it, some things I don't. But what are your thoughts, man? I want to hear from you. I think this is going to be one of our longer videos we put out in the last few weeks, but I don't care. I had a lot of fun with this. Let me know your thoughts about the future of the brand. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Peace. I want to give a special shout out to the Gold Ranger members Salima Ramirez, Stephen Heffelman, Anime King Nick, Louis Cairns, Thomas Franco, and Roderick Ham. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you want a video shout out like this one, sign up to be a Gold Ranger member today. Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, hit that share button, and if you can, please sign up to be a member today. We have 3 membership power-ups. We have the Gold Ranger power-up, the most popular. You get into our exclusive fan club chat group. We have fan-exclusive videos that we are adding monthly now, and you get a video shout out. Yes, folks, at the end of our videos, I will shout out your name. We also have the Quantum Ranger power up, where you get monthly meetings online with me. Yes, folks, we will talk once a month on Zoom, and you can give me your ideas for future episodes. And then we have a professional package, the Dr. K power up, that is for businesses that want to tap into the platform. If you guys can, please sign up to be a member today. It is highly appreciated, and it helps us keep these videos going. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Hi, we're Bulk and Skull. We have been requested by the fan club to say something funny.